Hello everyone and welcome back. It's Gina from orchidandopal.com, and today we're going to be taking a look at the double rotating Gemstone Beads of the Month Club, along with two of the companion packs that they have to offer. One of them contains the findings, and another one, which they just started offering, containing some crystals. I'll leave the link to their website right down below, and I also have a coupon code. It's OPAL10, OPAL10, that will save you 10% off the first month of your first club if you'd like to try them out. And I definitely encourage you to check out their website to find out more about all the different types of clubs that they have to offer, including their rotating club, which will cycle you through all their different offerings. You'll get something different every single month and rotate around every 6 months or so. You can also choose from the single size clubs or the double size, depending on how much you'd like to receive every month and how much you'd like to spend. So as a reminder, this is the double size club for the gemstones, which you can see contain 4 different cuts of malachite in both beads and some pendants. Both of the companion packs are optional and something that you can sign up to if you have an active bead subscription with Beads of the Month Club. The crystals are $15.95 a month, and the findings are $12.95 a month. But the great thing is, if you have an active bead subscription, you can add these on and it won't add any additional cost to your shipping. Let's go ahead and get started by looking at the findings. It looks like the pack this month contains some bright silver accents, and that's going to change every single time, rotating between different types of finishes. So next month will probably be something different. And I should mention too that your rotation might be a little bit different than mine. It just depends on what they have in stock when you signed up, and also what you've already received so far. So as you can see on the list, the retail cost of these findings exceeds the cost of this add-on, but the reason I really like it is because they include some really unique pieces and very inspiring too, ones that you tend to want to save for something more special, if you know what I mean. And findings that go beyond the basics in a lot of cases, so you'll probably end up getting things you don't already have. So we'll briefly flip this over. There's a peek of how these arrive. And right now we'll go down the list and take a look at all of these items one at a time. Our first item is the Add a Bead curved pinch bail that's 32 millimeters in length. It's got that bright, shiny, reflective silver surface plated all around, and you can see there, that's where you can pull those little tines apart gently and simply frame any type of bead or pendant. Next up is this really special feeling piece. It's a fold over 3-strand magnetic clasp that feels very substantial and has a lot of detail going on, but not too much, just enough to make it look elegant, I think. But you can see there where you're able to use those 3 holes to line up your strands. And you can just flip this part open, slide it out, and easily disconnect your clasp. It does also feel like it has quite a nice strong magnet. Our third item is listed as a 2-hole link, and it could be in various shapes. So I have this crystal embellished rhinestone crown here. You can see the 2 loops on either side, and there is a look at the back, shiny and bright as well. Slight curve to the shape. Next is the Kumi Himo Findings set, and I believe these are the 3 items that encompass that grouping. There's 2 of those cord ends, which you could certainly use for a Kumi Himo project to hide some of those strand ends and pull everything together in a neat and tidy way. There is also a toggle clasp with its smooth and streamlined design, and 2 oval jump rings included in the set as well to pull all of these items together. We're just about halfway down this list. We still have 2 of these ball screw clasps, which just unscrew on one end. These embellished with a circular design, one being a little bit smaller than the other, and having the loops on either side to attach to your beadwork. Here are the next 2 items on the list. There are 2 ear cuffs, which is pretty cool. I definitely don't have those. Slip on the top of the ear, and you can see that there is a hole located toward the side at the center of each of those cuffs. I know for one thing you could attach a jump ring to that, as well as some chain, and the chain can connect to potentially another component or an earring that is hanging down at the bottom of the ear, so that's pretty cool. And then we also have the teardrop shaped split rings, 12 of those. So I always appreciate when they send things that you could use as basics, but they're designed better. Things like the oval jump rings. A lot of us already have round jump rings, but something like these teardrops, for example, I know for me, I definitely don't have them. And details like that can not only help your jewelry be more secure, but also make it look more well made, with those details helping your pieces stand apart. And finally, we have the 4 fancy ear wires with backs, one of which I set down. I'll have to look for it, but it definitely came with 4 backs. And then this piece here, which I think might be a bail that goes with the Kumi Himo set. At least it looks like it would be perfect for sliding over a thicker rope or beaded chain, which is something that is great to have. All right, so that's another wonderful selection of findings and definitely worth the $12.95 add-on in my opinion, especially if you're not the biggest fan of shopping for findings. I can't tell you how many times I've been glad to have had some of these unique and high quality pieces to pull from to finish things off in a beautiful way. Next, let's take a look at their newer offering, the Crystal Companion Pack. This is number 2, and it contains 3 different items. This month, it says with a retail value around $19.14, so a little bit more than the actual cost of the subscription. And if you're familiar with Beads of the Month Club, particularly since the last few years, they used to offer a Swarovski Crystal Monthly Club, but of course, the Swarovski crystals have gone away. This, however, is a great way to incorporate some additional high-quality crystals into your stash, and just a little bit at a time. Let's flip this over though. So we've got some gorgeous pairs and some bicones and also some faceted rounds to take a look at, which we will certainly do because we want to see how beautiful these are outside of the plastic. So here's item number 1. These are absolutely stunning. We have a set of 2 of the Crystal Paradise Shine mini pair pendants in the 12mm size. As you can see with the hole that is cleanly positioned there at the top of the peak. And I wanted to hold these up to the light because that way you can see the light shining through these crystals and how there is a hint of pink or lilac there in the center. And as you move them a little bit, you can see more of the golden and sort of greenish tinge toward the outside of that shape. So here they are in my hand, sparkling away, and something that would look beautiful probably with the malachite that we're going to be looking at with the hint of green that you can see that's picked up in these crystals. Up next is a selection of 24 of the Iris AB bicones in the 4mm size. And we can definitely see the reflective property from that Iris AB coating that shows up on some of the surface, which still allows a lot of that pink color with a purplish undertone to show through. And then the third and final item in the pack is a set of 10 tanzanite rounds in the 6mm size. These have even more of a true purple color with a bit of a bluish undertone. And I think these being a little bit larger and taking a look at these up close, it's a great way to see the quality of these crystals, how cleanly the holes are drilled and how consistent the faceting is, the clarity of that glass. And something that is hard to tell from the video is just the fact that they feel a bit denser, the slightest bit heavier than some of your cheaper imitation Austrian crystals. So that's a great example of what you'll find in the Crystals Companion Packs month after month, not in this color scheme or these particular shapes or anything, but it could be a variety that is very similar to this in different colors and finishes, and you'll see different shapes and styles pop up over time. So again, both of the crystals and the findings are optional add-ons that will go with your bead club, one of which you could choose from being the rotating club. This month I have the gemstones in the double size. So you may be wondering why, if it's the double size, does this bag look a little bit smaller? And that's where the gemstone clubs are going to be a little bit different, because the stones are valued so wildly differently sometimes that it really depends on the variety that's included in your monthly subscription that's going to determine the quantities of what you receive. And sometimes it's not just the stone itself, but also how uniquely something is cut or how rare it is. But I think if you really appreciate working with gemstones in particular, you know that's what you like, being on this rotation or even choosing to get the gemstones every single month, that's something that I highly recommend if you're able to fit it in your budget and if what you're seeing speaks to you. Let's do our flip over. There's our brilliant, satiny, silky green malachite in the 4 different reusable containers, which we will open up right now so we can appreciate these gemstones. Up first, we have a container of 8mm rounds. There's a total of 20 pieces inside, and these have a retail value of $17.50. Here we go. Look at all those beautiful swoops and swirls of green, mainly just tone on tone and pretty subtle, shiny and smooth and cold, feeling like marbles in my hand. And for this subscription, they really do care about the quality, so that's something that you'll have confidence in. If you sign up, you're going to be getting the quality of items that you're paying for. And to complement our 8mm rounds, we also have a container that is holding 40 of the 6mm, slightly smaller round malachite. That's a stunning handful right there of that saturated green. Very similar to the 8mm overall in the color. If anything, maybe the slightest bit lighter, just because I think it gives us a little bit different look at the bands and striations that make these so special. Next up, we have a container of 8 of the drop pendants in the 8x12mm size. And this is just one example of a type of pendant that you might receive in the Gemstone Club. You might receive a single larger piece, or maybe 2 sometimes. And this time we have these smaller drop shapes that you could either use as standalone smaller pendants, or you could layer or combine these for a dramatic effect. Now these really give us a wonderful cross section, so we can admire those stripes of green. Some areas looking very dark, almost black, and some areas, especially towards the center pendant there that's facing us, we see some lighter bands of more minty green. And all of them, as you can see, are a little bit different. The bands going in different directions, both sides looking a bit different, all things that are expected because these are natural materials. And you can note the whole location right there at the top of the drop going through the side. Our final container of malachite is holding the 6x9mm rice-shaped beads, 16 pieces in total. So here's another very consistent lot of, this time, a more oval shape. And just look at how clean and smooth these are, well polished. And this variety giving us something else to combine with the basic rounds, adding in this more elongated shape. And I really appreciate how these look with our crystal companion pack. Now, it's important to note that the companion packs and crystals, they're not meant to specifically coordinate with the other beading clubs, but in a lot of cases they do. And of course, you can always combine things from past months and pull other things out of your stash too. But I like the way the crystals kind of lighten up the malachite just a little bit. And even if you don't use these, I could picture some very minimal, clear faceted crystals that would add a hint of sparkle, but not take away from the look of the malachite too. So that would be a beautiful combination. I could see the malachite mixed with black, like onyx. So there's lots of possibilities. And again, if you decide to subscribe to the Gemstones Club, you're going to receive something different every single month. So next month will be a different variety of stone and different shapes to work into finished pieces. So there we have it. That is the rotation that I received for October. And if you are on the same rotation as myself, you will have gotten these lovely malachite beads as well. Those are really going to be special and a treat to play with. And I love the addition of the crystal accents. And of course, I can't get enough of the bright silver findings when they are done well. Just keep in mind, you'll want to take some steps to mitigate the tarnish and keep your bright silver findings reflective and bright. So you might want to refer to the video I did a little while back if you're more interested in that topic. Otherwise, once again, if you would like to sign up for one of their beading clubs, you can use the coupon code OPAL10, OPAL10, and be sure to have a look around. They updated their website and it is looking so well done and modern, and it's sure to answer a lot of your questions. One other perk I want to mention is that they do also offer 3 free downloadable and printable beading patterns each and every month, and that comes in the form of a link on the bottom of your printed invoice. So before you toss out that paperwork, be sure to enter that URL into your browser and download those patterns. You can build up quite a library of those over time. Now, before I go, I just want to thank you all so much for being here as usual, but also for sticking with me while I've taken this, what probably seems like a very, very extremely long break. But I'm happy to say it's been doing wonders for my health and my mental health in particular. So that just means I'll be here, hopefully for the long haul, as I'm able to work on a new measure of balancing my time. Going forward, I'm going to try to do a higher ratio of actual jewelry making tutorials versus unboxings. And there's a couple really good reasons I have for that, but none of which are the fact that I no longer subscribe or like the boxes. I still do and will be using them as a matter of fact. But one of the ongoing unboxings I will continue to do on a monthly basis is for Beads of the Month Club with the double rotating subscription. So you can keep your eyes out for that on a regular basis. And be sure to check out the playlist I have for Beads of the Month Club because I have tons of unboxings going back several years, and you can really get a good feel for the types of things that they send in each of their different clubs. Be sure to check right down below the video for the link to Beads of the Month clubs and that coupon code, and also feel free to leave a comment down below. It's always great to hear from you. Don't forget to give the video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and be sure to subscribe to my channel because I would love to have you back. That's all I have for now, but I do look forward to seeing you all again real soon. And until next time, I hope you have a fabulous rest of your day. And as always, happy beading.